Trojan family, Trojan gang. Fight on forever's in the building, you hear me? And this is more news and notes on SC to let y'all know what's going around in the land of Troy on this bye week and this slow. I got you. Don't worry, Trojan fans. I got you with the content, keeping that USC Trojan football on your mind while we on this grind during this bye week. You hear me? And the first thing I want to talk about is your boy, Ty Jackson. You hear me? Ty Jackson is an old school type kid. He a throwback. He making me very proud right now. Ty Jackson has climbed up the ranks of my favorite recruits when it comes to USC. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because after his commitment, he's doing what all young men supposed to do after a commitment, and that is shut it down. Because if it's a real commitment, you ain't gonna be out there searching and looking, going on dates, right? That's like if you get married, you ain't gonna be going on dates with nobody. When you make a commitment, if you really serious about it, you hear me? And this kid is really serious about it. This kid didn't cancel all visits, just like I like. I think some couple of USC recruits should take notes. I ain't gonna say no names, but y'all know who I'm talking about, right? And if y'all don't believe me, check out this video right here talking about the exact very same thing of Ty Jackson shutting down his commitment. Check out this video. You hear me?
Well, Eric Henderson's been the lead recruiter on Ty Jackson, building a relationship with him and his family to get him to come out to USC on the official visit. And before the trip, we said, hey, you shoot your shot in recruiting. Yeah. Sometimes you never know what's going to happen. And this time it paid off for USC, who has a lot to offer right now. On paper, they have one of the best defensive coaching staffs in the country, and Coach Lynn, who's come from the NFL. He revitalized UCLA's defense last year, seems to be on track to do that at USC. Coach Entz, the linebackers coach, he's a national championship coach from the SCF level. You got Doug Belk in the secondary. You add Coach Henney to the defensive line, along with Coach Nua. On paper, that staff's as good as any staff in the country. They just had to prove it again at USC. Through 2 games, they were able to do that. They were able to give Ty Jackson a presentation about how he would fit in the defense, what the trajectory of this program is. He felt very comfortable with that. Then he just liked being at USC. Some kids love college towns. He fit that vibe at USC, called it like a Disney World type atmosphere, Universal Studios, like the big city at USC. But more than anything, again, playing for that coaching staff, for this program that they view on the rise, sold him on it. He was going to commit in December. Yeah. He jumped in the fold, committed in person. And I asked his dad, Samaj, this morning if he still planned to take visits to these programs that are closer to home, Florida, Alabama, Florida State. He had an official visit scheduled to Florida State at the end of November. That's where his mom went to school. He's not going back to any of those schools. He's locked in with USC right now, and one of the jewels of a class that ranks number 15 nationally. They got a chance to make a run into the top 10, Josh.
Do you think
you heard me? It ain't me. It's his pops that said it. Y'all be? Y'all ain't hearing from me. I'm just relaying the message. Ty Jackson then shut that thing down. Doing what he's supposed to do. That means he's serious about his commitment. That means this ain't no money play. This ain't no money play. Everybody down in SEC land, oh, he just committing for the bag. And he could decommit later. If that was the case, he'll still be taking visits so he could get another bag. He's shutting down other visits, so he ain't trying to hear no other pitches. He ain't even trying to hear nobody throw the bag at him. You hear me? So salute to Ty Jackson for being a real Trojan, a throwback, not playing, making this commitment and shutting it down. That means he's very serious about it. Don't expect this kid to decommit. Long as we keep on winning and looking like an improved team, Ty Jackson is going to sign that LOI, that letter of intent. You hear me? Right? On to other news. When Lynn speaks, I listen. I'm going to listen. I'm going to tune in, right? One of the things that caught my eye, Lynn said, he said that a 10-yard play is an explosive play to him. And that's music to my ears, right? That's a true G. That's a true defensive coordinator. You know why he say anything more than 10-yard plays is explosive play to him? Because 10 yards, that's a first down. That's a first down. He ain't trying to give up no downs. Any play that'll move the chains, it is supposed to play for him. Gentry Lynn trying to get on the field and get off the field and get the ball back to his offense. That's that real dog work mentality in our head coach on the defensive side of the ball. You hear me? And he also said that he spoke on Anthony Lucas' development, right? He said he has a high ceiling, very high, and we all know that. For him, it was just doing it every single play. And he's being more consistent in the first 2 games of this season. Let's keep it going, Anthony Luke, because I've been big on Anthony Luke this all season. I've been yelling and screaming. If y'all new to the channel, I've been yelling and screaming that, first of all, Grinch dropped the kid down to 235. He had him dropping weight like Corey Foreman, right? Anthony Lucas had came in USC at like 270. Right? Grinch dropped him all the way down to like 235. So that affected his performance right there. And then on top of that, we know the scheme is horrible. With Coach Billy Riley adding muscle back on this kid, and with Coach Henney as a coach, I said if Coach Henney the real deal, which we all know he is and believe, I say Anthony Lucas gonna have a breakout season. And guess what? I ain't trying to pat my back on that, because it was obvious to see. Anybody with some eyes could see that kid had uber talent and uber ability. All he needs is the right coaching and the right motivation. And guess what? The kid balling, right? The kid balling. He's balling out. You hear me? Lynn also went on to say that Kamari Ramsey helped Lynn install packages at USC. Shout out to Kamari Ramsey, a quarterback back there. Apparently, he's a high IQ player with high physical ability, just a star in the making. He said Kamari Ramsey helped him install packages at USC that he wasn't able to at UCLA. Ramsey's experience in the scheme is huge. Very huge. And I say 2 things about Kamari Ramsey: very high IQ, and he's a dog, right? Another thing is our team, period, because Kamari Ramsey only one player, but that shows our team, period, has a high IQ, and it should. We have a lot of 3rd and 4th year players on our defense some players even been in college 5 years that's on our defense, right? So it makes sense with the experienced team, you could store more packages, right? You could put more on them because we got a high IQ. So I'm loving what I'm hearing about this team all the time. Everything that's said and every fact that's given is huge, and it's important to a program, right? It's important to a program. So that blew my mind how he said he was able to install packages at USC that he wasn't able to install at UCLA. So the sky's the limit for our defense. We got more talent than that UCLA team had, and we got a higher IQ. Let's go. We gonna end up a top 20 defense for sure. Gavin Meyer was also speaking on Gentry Lynn. He said when he first met Lynn, they talked for 90 minutes, and he was like, "This is how football is supposed to be talked about and understood." Meyer said he was smirking the whole meeting. I think Connor Morissette meant to put smiling, but if he meant to put smirking, it was smirking in a good way. Like, this is what I'm talking about. What this DC saying makes hella sense. What this DC he's saying make hella sense. He can relate to players, and players feel it. When players listen to him, they feel like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. I want to play for a defensive coordinator like that. You dig? So Gentry Lynn, his aura just grows. His legacy just grows, right? Just keep growing and growing. He is this every week. We see why we better throw the bag at this man when they come try to pluck him out our arms, because they coming. Trojan fans, Lincoln Riley, the Trojan administration, get ready, because they coming. Try to go pluck our boy. Best believe it. So back up them Brinks trucks right now for your boy Gentry Lynn. You hear me? Now Eric Gentry, another dog, another player that I told y'all last year, even in the Alex Grinch scheme, wasting away talent from everybody. When Eric Gentry was on the field, USC defense gave up 4.3 yards a game. A play, right? When Mason Cobb was on the field, they gave up like 5.6 yards a play. And when Rajon Davis was on the field, they gave up 6.7 yards a play, right? And I'm talking about these players on the field in place of him not being on the field, right? Eric Gentry is worth 2 yards at best. At worst, he's worth for 1 yard per play. This kid is worth 2 yards per play. That's how dominant this kid is, right? And he's leading team in tackles, which is not surprising. 14 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 pass breakup. You hear me? Eric Gentry out there leading the team on defense, and it shouldn't be a surprise. It's EG. And talking about players, Miller Moss got the ball out even faster in USC Week 2 win. He got the ball out in 2.02 seconds. Faster than he did in Week 1 was at 2.35 seconds. Moss has one of the quickest triggers in college football through 2 weeks. Just 3 quarterbacks, Malik Murphy, TJ Finley, Ben Woolridge, have been faster to throw. And Miller Moss ain't being dinking and dunking. It's one thing you get it out when you dinking and dunking. Miller Moss is taking shots downfield, right? He's not Dylan Gabriel, right? He taking shots with it. So that shows Miller Moss IQ. That shows his preparation level. That shows the defense is not confusing him and he reading the defense well, right? That's why he got a 90.8 PFF grade through 2 weeks. Miller Moss, it's Miller time. He balling, right? And speaking of quarterbacks, your boy Julian Lewis been doing his thing through his first 4 games. He already been passed for 1,034 yards, 18. You hear me? 18 pass TDs. That's like 4.5 TDs a game. Yeah, it's 4.5 TDs a game on 79% passes completed. And he played in a good league down there in Georgia. So Julian Lewis been dominating. I think he had a subpar game 2. But game 1, game 3, game 4, kid been killing. The kid been killing. So slow down. We want Juju to cancel his visits, but long as he don't commit and long as he signed on that dotted line, we can't be mad, right? Some more notes and stats out of USC, right? USC currently leads college football in points per play at 1.154, right? And here goes some perspective. USC was first last year at this point at 0.932 points per play versus 2 Mountain West schools. This year we got an SEC school and a Mountain West school. So it don't matter what we play or who we play, Lincoln Riley gonna have the offense rocking and rolling, right? It's SC, baby. So I'm just keeping y'all in tune. That's it for the news and notes around USC today. I just want y'all to know how Ty Jackson then locked down his commitment, right? And when Coach Lynn speak, it just oozes greatness. Every time he speak, everything you hear about him is like pay the man more, right? Miller Moss and Eric Gentry balling, right? So I'm just giving y'all some entertainment, some news, some notes on this bye week. It's going to be a slow week. I know we all hate we got to wait 2 weeks to see this team play again, but Carter Sports got y'all. I'm finna keep SC on y'all mind and let y'all know how we doing on the grind. You hear me? And oh yeah, if y'all missed the last video, expect Jerome Miles to commit to SC. Right? And we rocking and rolling. I heard Madden Ferramo is looking like he gonna commit as well. But we gonna cross our fingers. Ain't nothing promised in this world, but that's how it's looking. So until then, it's Carter Sports, it's Trojan City, it's SC. So let's go.